You see a painting of a saint, bathed in light, but the colors seem to hum with a quiet unease. It's not just the subject. It's the way the colors are layered, almost like a secret code waiting to be unlocked. These colors aren't just for beauty. They're part of a language older than words, a visual syntax that whispers meaning across time and space. And yet, there's a strange dissonance in the way these colors are used. Like, they're trying to say something we've forgotten how to hear. So, what if the colors in these paintings aren't just there to please the eye, but to guide the mind, to stir the soul, and to unlock something hidden in the very fabric of reality? This is not just a story about paint. It's a story about how we see the world, and how we've been seeing it all along. So, what exactly are we talking about? We're not just looking at pigments and hues. We're tracing the language of light and shadow, the subtle interplay of color and emotion as it was conceived and crafted by Renaissance artists. Color wasn't just a tool for beauty. It was a means of conveying theological meaning, human emotion, and even the passage of time. It was as much about perception as it was about pigment. This was a time when color was not merely seen, it was felt, interpreted, and even debated. The Renaissance was not just about rediscovering the past, but about reimagining how color could shape the soul. So when we speak of cinematic color theory in Renaissance art, we're not just looking at the surface. We're looking at the very essence of how color was used to create meaning, to guide the eye and to move the spirit. You might think this is just about paint and light, but consider how color shapes the way we see the world. A Renaissance painter didn't just mix pigments, they shaped your mind's eye. When you look at a scene colored in earth tones, you're not just seeing the world as it was. It's as if the artist is whispering to your subconscious, guiding your emotions without words. This is not just history. It's a mirror. The same principles that shaped Renaissance art shape modern film, television, and even the way we perceive truth in media. So, when you think about color, think about how the Renaissance artists used it not just to depict the world, but to change how you see it. The Renaissance was a time of rediscovery, where color became a tool to bridge the ancient and the modern. Artists like Cimabue and Giotto began to use pigment not just for decoration, but to evoke emotion and structure, laying the groundwork for a new visual language. By the 1420s, the use of color had evolved from symbolic to expressive. Filippo Lippi's works show a subtle interplay of light and shadow, with hues that guide the viewer's eye through the sacred space of the altarpiece. The High Renaissance saw color rise to new heights, with artists like Raphael and Titian mastering the use of complementary colors to create depth and vibrancy. The palette became a map of emotion, with each hue carrying its own weight. As the Renaissance moved into the Baroque, color became even more theatrical. Caravaggio used chiaroscuro not just to dramatize light, but to let color speak of passion, suffering, and divine revelation in ways never seen before. Through these centuries of color, the Renaissance laid the foundation for cinematic color theory. The way light and color shape perception, emotion, and meaning was not just an artistic choice. It was a revelation of the human spirit in motion. Imagine a world where colors don't just look pretty, they tell a story. Every shade carries a meaning, like a secret whispering from the past. In those old paintings, red means love, blue means sadness, and gold means power. Colors aren't just for show, they're like the heartbeat of the picture. When they painted, they didn't just paint what they saw, they painted what they felt. And those feelings were written in color, like a story told with only pictures. So when you look at those old paintings, you're not just looking at art. You're looking at a language, a way of speaking with color that's been passed down through time. And that's the magic of color. It's not just what you see, it's what you feel and what you remember. To understand how cinematic color theory operates in Renaissance art, we must first consider the foundational tools of the painter's craft. These were not merely pigments, but substances imbued with meaning, prepared with care and imbued with intention. The artist's palette was a carefully curated system of substances, each chosen for its optical properties and symbolic weight. The preparation of these pigments was as much a ritual as it was a science, shaping the very essence of the final image. The painter's understanding of color was rooted in both natural observation and spiritual allegory. Each color carried a symbolic weight, and the careful arrangement of hues was a way of encoding meaning into the very fabric of the image. In this first step, the artist laid the foundation, not just for the image, but for the emotional and intellectual response it would provoke. It was a meticulous act of creation, shaped by both technique and belief. The first step is the preparation of pigments, raw materials ground and mixed with oil or water to create a paste that adheres to the surface of the panel or canvas. This paste is then applied in thin layers, allowing each hue to settle and blend subtly with the underlying layers, a process known as glazing. Each layer is left to dry, enabling the artist to build depth and luminosity by manipulating the transparency and intensity of the color. The artist then uses a dry brush or a fine knife to scrape away excess pigment, creating sharp edges and highlighting the contrast between colors. Finally, the work is sealed with a thin layer of varnish, which both protects the colors and enhances their vibrancy, preserving the artist's vision for generations. The clever twist lies in the manipulation of color saturation to evoke emotional depths. Renaissance artists used muted tones not just for realism, but to heighten the gravity of the subject. By reducing color vibrancy, they created a visual tension that mirrors the psychological weight of the narrative. This is not a rejection of color, but a strategic use of restraint. This approach aligns with the Renaissance fascination with human emotion and the divine. This subdued palette becomes a visual language of reverence and introspection. Artists like Titian and Raphael mastered this technique, using color to guide the viewer's gaze and evoke a spiritual experience rather than mere spectacle. This is the third step, the clever twist, not in the color itself, but in how it is used to create depth, meaning, and emotional resonance. The pigments used in Renaissance art were not mere dyes, but complex chemical compounds, each with its own spectral signature. These materials, ground into fine powders and mixed with binders, absorbed and reflected light in ways that shaped the visual experience of color. The optical properties of these pigments, how they interacted with the light of the candle, the sun, or the flicker of a chandelier, were as much a part of the art as the brushwork itself. Color was not static, but a dynamic negotiation between material and medium. These colors were not just seen, they were felt. The interplay of light and pigment created a kind of optical alchemy, where the viewer's eye became an instrument of transformation, translating pigment into perception. The science behind these colors was not just about what they looked like, but how they made the viewer feel. The vibrancy of a red or the depth of a blue was not just visual, it was emotional, almost spiritual, a kind of color-induced transcendence. In the quiet hum of the studio, the materials, the light, and the human hand combined to create something more than art. They created a kind of visual physics, a science of seeing that was as much about the material world as it was about the soul. Consider the Renaissance palette as a cathedral. It's stained glass, not just colored, but imbued with meaning. Each hue is a prayer, each shade a sermon, each gradient a devotion to light. Just as the stained glass refracts sunlight into color, so too does the artist refract emotion into pigment. The color is not just seen, it is felt, as if the soul itself is painted. The artist, like the glassmaker, is a conduit. They do not create color. They shape the light, bending it to reveal something hidden, something sacred, something true. So when we look at Renaissance art, we are not merely seeing color. We are seeing the artist's attempt to make the divine visible, to turn light into meaning, and to make the world a little more radiant. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.